Hey everyone, this is Tim Schwans with the Center for Internal Change. I'm here today to walk you through the most important features of your administrator account that you use for motivators, EIQ, and team dimensions assessments. Today we'll look at 6 areas of your account settings, including how to white label your account, purchasing assessment credits, organizing your account using groups, creating and sending assessment links to your learners, managing your learners, whether that's downloading their reports, sending reminders, or making edits. And finally, we'll take a look at how to create group reports. First, we'll look at your account settings and how to white label your account. To get to your settings, go to this Account Settings tab and click on Account. One thing that we recommend that you do the first time signing in is to create a new secure password. For quick, easy, and secure purchases, we also recommend saving a credit card on file. You'll see this credit card information section here on the right-hand side. We know that white labeling your account and reports is really important for you to do. There's 2 different areas that you can white label on your account. White labeling your reports is done right here from this account settings page. This includes the ability to add your company logo to the cover of reports. You can see this company logo section here at the bottom of the page. And to create a new logo, or to add your new logo to the cover of your reports, simply save a logo to your computer and upload it right here. There's also several pieces of your company contact information on the footer of all of your reports. That includes your company name, your website, and phone number. So please make sure to add those pieces and save that information properly. The other area that you can white label is your respondent website so that learners will see your contact information and logo when taking the assessment. To get to that section, go back to this Account Settings tab and click on Header/Footer. You'll see those instructions here on the left-hand side. You can see that I've added a company logo, a quick message, phone number, and email address. Now that our settings are established, we can go ahead and purchase assessment credits that we need to send out the assessments. To do so, we'll go back to the home page. And from here, we can scroll down to the available assessments section. Now that our settings are established, you'll be ready to begin using your account. The first step in using your account is to purchase the assessment credits. We'll purchase our assessment credits by coming back to the home page and scrolling to this available assessments section. You'll see your credit balance over here on the right-hand side. You can see that I have 3 Motivators credits and 1 Team Dimensions credit already in my account. When I need to purchase more credits, I simply hover over the product that I need to purchase and click on Add Credits. I can enter in the number of credits that I need. For example, if I needed 5 EIQ assessments to be sent, I can click Add to Order. One nice thing about this account is 1 credit equals 1 assessment. So if I need to send this out to 5 people, I simply click that I need 5. I can enter my credit card information and submit my order. If I had saved that credit card on file, there'd be a toggle here that says to use the card on file. Next, we'll look at a functionality called groups. Groups are a way to organize your administrator account, much like you use the folders on your computer to organize your documents. Creating groups isn't a required step, but we do strongly encourage you to use them, as it makes it a lot easier for you to filter through your learners' results, to create group reports, and more. Some common examples of groups include client organizations that you're working with, an internal department, or an upcoming cohort that you have planned. To create a group, we'll go to this Managing Assessments dropdown and click on Groups. You can see that I have a couple groups already created. But you know what? I'm going to say that let's send out assessments here for my colleagues here at the Team Approach. I'm going to click on this Click Here to Add a Group button, and I'll give it a name. So this is for our organization here at the Team Approach. So I'm going to say the Team Approach is my group name. I'll click on Update, and you'll see that I now have this group created. Now that we have the group created, we're ready to create the assessment link. To create an assessment link that you use for participants, go to this Managing Assessments dropdown again and click on Manage Assessment Links. There's two different options in creating assessment links. You can simply click on Add New Assessment Link, and you can use the form or walk step by step through a wizard. Let's walk through the steps of the form, as I think it's fairly straightforward as it is. The first thing that we need to do is to give the link a recognizable name. You can name it anything that you want, but I typically recommend using the team name who's completing the assessment. For example, if I'm using the Motivators assessment for my colleagues and my teammates here within the sales team at the team approach, Adam, Brian, and myself, let's make up a link that says TTA, so the team approach, and I'll say sales team. And I'll also give the name of the assessment as a reminder for me here too. So TTA, sales team, Motivators. That's a good way for me to recognize what I'm sending out to participants. Which assessments would you like to complete? I already said here that this is going to be that Motivators report that I'm sending out to everyone. All right, assessment user settings. Allow the assessment user to view the reports. So this is asking whether you want your learner to immediately download their report when they're done with the assessment. Most people that I talk to do want them to download their reports. So we'll go ahead and check this box, but that's completely up to you on how you want them to use those reports. And if you want them to download their reports when they're done with the assessment, you might as well have the system automatically email a copy of that report over to them. Next, we can tie this assessment link to the group that we just created. So let's tie this to the team approach. Select the screen language. This is fairly self-explanatory. This is the language that the assessment will be for your learners. So this does not change the language that the report is in, but it does change the language for the assessment and for the website that your learners are using. I'll keep that in English. Next, with that email settings, if I want a copy of the report sent to my email box as soon as somebody's done with the assessment, I can go ahead and type in my email address here. And if I had multiple people that I needed to make sure had copies of the report, let's say to a team leader or to anybody else, I can add more than one email address here simply by adding a semicolon and another email address. All right, then choose what email to edit. We can talk about this more in a minute here as well, but there's two different ways to send out this assessment link to your participants. You can use the dashboard itself, and from here you would use this dashboard invite email. This is the email that your participants would receive, and this creates a unique link for each and every one of the participants. I think the email itself is good as is, but if you were using the dashboard, because the link is getting sent out from this website, a couple of things that we typically recommend adding to this section include different logistics for why you're having them complete the assessment. Things like here's their session information, when you want them to complete the assessment by, different information like that. That's one way to use this assessment link. You can also use a generic link and send a link from your personal email address. We'll learn a little bit more about this feature here in just a second. But if you use a generic link, because somebody is putting in their name and their email address, as soon as you send out that information and they start the assessment, they'll receive an email that is inviting them back into their assessment if they have not completed. And finally, there's one more email here too. That's the report attached email. So when you or your learners receive that report, once somebody's completed with the assessment, this is the email that comes through. You don't need to edit this one, in my opinion. So I think that one's good as is. One other nice piece here too is you can set an expiration date for the assessment. So if you need everybody to complete the assessment by next Friday, as an example, you can expire the link after that point. That way, nobody can complete after that date, and that gives you time to prepare for your session. Once we have that created, we can go ahead and hit add assessment link, and this link will get created here for you. All right, now that we have everything set up, let's talk through the two ways that we can send out this assessment link. The first way is through the dashboard. So let's go back to this home screen and look at this send assessment section here on the home page. So this is the way to use that dashboard invite. First thing that we do is we select the assessment link that we're using. So in this case, we'll click on this assessment link dropdown, and we'll click on that TTA sales team motivators that we just created. We'll be able to enter in the email addresses and names of our participants and hit that as send assessment email. You can also send it through as a bulk upload here as well. This does require you to save it in a CSV format. So you can put in or create a spreadsheet, save it in that CSV format, and have 3 different columns. First column being the first name, second column being everybody's last name, third column being the email address. That allows you to upload right here and send those assessments in bulk here too. I'm going to go back to add single users. Let's go ahead and let's send this to my colleagues, Adam, Brian, and myself. All right, let's type that in. I'll type in mine here first, teamapproach.com, Tim Schwanz. All right, I don't need to customize that email because I've already done that, and I can hit send assessment email. It will ask if you're sure. I am sure, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK on that. Great, assessment sent. All right, I'll send those other 2 assessments here momentarily to Adam and Brian, who will complete the assessments as well. But let me show you this other way that you can send assessments. So this is that dashboard, that way to use a dashboard to send out the assessments. The other way to do it is through the generic link. So let's take a look at this here as well. So underneath this managing assessments section, let's go back to manage assessment links. You can see here, here's that link that I created. And once again, here is the URL that we created. And as I hover over it, you can see that it says copy link. This is the generic link for each participant to be able to use if you want to send this from your personal email address. So I clicked on copy. I'm going to pretend that I just sent this link in an email so that you can see what this is going to look like for your participants. All right, so I just went here. First of all, I just want to highlight here. Here's that white labeling of the account. You remember that we white labeled our account earlier. My logo, message, phone number, email address, all of that is right here on the respondent assessment site. So if I'm the participant, I am here. I can go ahead and put this information here. I'm just going to say that I'm respondent number 2, and I'm going to put in a fake email address here, tim2@teamapproach.com. All right, I'll accept the privacy policy and proceed to the next step. Here I'm often running with the assessment as if I had done that as a learner here too. All right. So that's the way to send out the assessments here via the site. Next thing we want to do is manage our learners. So let's go back to this manage assessments dropdown, and this time we'll click on assessment users. You can see that we have those 2 respondents who have started to reply to the assessment. So we have that one that I just sent here from the dashboard for Tim Schwanz, and this other one here too, the one that I started from that generic assessment link. So we can see that respondent 2 is also here. So there's a few different things that we can do to manage these users. First of all, you can see the importance of creating groups and filters and all these different pieces, because if my account is full of different information, it's going to be important that I'm filtering by different groups that I'm using. So for example, if I was just looking for my different team members at the team approach, I can filter by that group. Or let's say I was looking at all groups, but I also needed to look at one specific product, like all of my EIQ assessments. I don't have any of those in my account, but you get the idea. This is important for you to be able to filter through on this side. A couple of things that you do. First of all, if you need to send reminders to anybody, you can highlight them on the left-hand side and click on send reminders to selected users. This will send a system-generated reminder to those participants. Another thing that we can do here too is once somebody's completed their profile, you can select them and hit download reports. And so selecting multiple allows you to create that in a zip file format by selecting this zip file download here. Or we can download one person at a time simply by clicking on the gear icon and doing several different options for each person. So let me actually show you what that looks like here on this side. First of all, I can view and download their reports once somebody is done. If I needed to edit the assessment, let's say I wanted them to view the report, but actually now I changed my mind. I didn't want them to view their report. I can edit some of those assessments here on that side. I can also log in as the user. So if I ever wanted to look at the status of one of my participants here too, beyond just seeing whether they are complete or not complete with their assessment, I can do that. And one of my favorite features here too is this ability to edit the user here too. So there's a lot of information that you can edit even from this section here. Let's say you did a typo for somebody's email address. You can change an email address there. But you also have access to this assessment return link. So let's say Tim reached out to you in this instance. He said, you know what, I really didn't receive my report. I can't find it in my email box. You already tried to send a system generated reminder from this section. You can go into this edit user field, highlight and copy this assessment return link and send it to your participant. So I'll just go ahead and place that in here. I clicked it. Look here. Here's that assessment. Here's my personal assessment link that I had sent to Tim in this example. All right, the final thing that we are going to look at is group reporting. There are several group reports available depending on the assessment that you've used. To create a group report, we'll go back to this Managing Assessments tab and we'll click on Group Reporting. First thing that we'll do is we will select the report that we want to run. For this example, let's go ahead and look at DISC team report. There we go. One thing that you might need to do is remove the completion date filter. That does automatically get filled in on your side. You can see I have several different reports in this section. If I needed to look at a specific group, I could edit that information. So once again, I could look at the team approach assessments. Here's Tim, Brian, and Adam. Let's actually use those three as my filter. I'll select everybody and click on Add Selected Users to Group Report. You can see everybody populates over here to the left-hand side. I can give the report a name, such as DISC Group Report, and click on Generate a Report as soon as I'm ready. This is going to generate on this side. This will download in your downloads folder. So it's not going to save directly into your account, but you can create these reports as many iterations as you need to and save them onto your computer. All right, perfect. I just downloaded those. All right, and here, Brian, for Center for Internal Change, we would end up going right into the closing and the outro there. Something available for ODP only, and for people using DISC Basic is the one-on-one DISC collaboration report. So I'm going to walk through that process here real quick as well, but feel free to make those couple different versions here real quick on that side. Thanks everyone for watching our video on how to use your administrator account. If you have any questions, please email us at support@teamapproach.com or call us at 847-259-0005. If you'd like to learn more about our other products and services, please visit our website at internalchange.com.